you've seen me battered, bruised, but never broken. Through the fire, hope still spoken. There's a strength inside me that keeps me strong. So I'll keep pushing, I'll keep holding on. Through it all, I won't fall. I've got power, standing tall. Battered, bruised, but not broken. I'm unshaken, still unshaken.
Welcome back to our. I am so excited to have you here with us tonight because guess what? We have yet again another woman who is in the room, who is excited. She's pumped. She's ready to share her story with us. And I don't want to keep you back any longer. I know you are excited. I want to give you an opportunity right now to just go right ahead and just share. Just share this link with a friend, share it with a family member, share it with someone who is next door. You know, just share. Because you do not know what she will share that may be able to enlighten, or it may be able to encourage, to inspire, or it may be able to empower you. And so I want to give you a few seconds to go right ahead and share. I'm going to take a few seconds myself and just go ahead and share too as well, because I want to ensure that we have those women who need to be here in the room tonight so that they are able to receive everything that God has to share with them tonight. You don't want to miss this at all. I'm telling you, I know this is going to be a good session tonight. And so I really want to get your friends and get your family members and so on here. And so as you prepare to get persons out and get them ready and pumped and ready to go ahead, just go ahead and just share that link one more time. Just share that link one more time. I'm sure you can find a friend, you can find a family member, you can find somebody to share this link with so that they are able to receive what is going to be shared here tonight. And go ahead and drop in the comments. Tell us where you are tuning in from, where you're watching from. Let us know where you're tuning in from tonight so that we can welcome you, and we can welcome you here with us tonight as you comment below. I'm excited. I'm super excited because guess what? It keeps getting better every single year. Every single year it gets better. Every single season it gets better. Every single episode it gets better. It just keeps getting better. And so with that being said, we've already shared and we're ready. We're pumped. We're excited. Like I said, she's already backstage and she's ready to go. And so I don't want to keep her any longer. I'm going to get ready to invite my guest here tonight so that she can share with you what God has placed on her heart. So let's get ready to welcome none other than Taniesha. Welcome, woman of God. How are you?
Blessings. I'm great. How are you?
Awesome. I am good. I'm excited. Based on your heart for us tonight as we share your story. I can't wait. And listen, I know they're on the edge of their seats already. They're pumped, they're excited, and they're probably questioning what is her story, right? Yeah. But before we just rush into it, let us start by you telling us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yes. So I'm Taniesha. I like to be called as the servant that I am. Titles don't really mean anything to me, which I know title is, it let the people know where you stand at, who you are. But why I say titles don't mean nothing, because it's just a title. Being a servant of God is the best thing that could ever happen in my life. I am a leading pastor of Kingdom Purpose Church, Inc., also Kingdom Purpose Jacksonville, and I also started my own fellowship with Apostle Jackson III. We started a new fellowship called, the Kingdom of God Holy Alliance. And what I love about ministry is loving on the people. What I love about ministry is that ministry, I am a PK kid as well, but it changed my life. Being the black sheep of the family at one point in time, you know how that be. You're the black sheep of the family. You're never going to be nothing in life. We don't heard it over and over again, but to God be the glory. I have a powerful testimony, probably a lot of testimonies. I wear plenty of hats. I am an 8-time author, going to be a 10-time author this month, actually. What I love about it is that God helped me to share my powerful testimonies to help other people come through their situation or their storms and their problems. I love being a mentor. I didn't see myself doing certain things in life, especially ministry, because you have a standard to stand up to when you are a PK kid or you are in a family full of pastors, apostles, and prophets. So they look for a certain standard. What I love about it is that I'm different. I don't look like everybody else. I can gravitate to people that look like me where I come from. And it's no shade throwing. It's just the fact that I love people and I love to help people come out of their storms. So, in that being said, I am Taniesha, the Prophetess CEO. You guys are already, probably some of you already know me, some of you don't. But blessings to each and every one of you, and just stay tuned for my powerful testimony.
Beautiful, beautiful. Listen, you do so many things. Where do you find the time? You find the time to do it all.
Set boundaries. I had to.
Mm,
My God, like this year I'm doing taxes again, and then find the time to do ministry work and outreach, and then I'm doing a retreat actually this month. So
oh my
I have
goodness.
to find boundaries, and what really helped me, my kids in my life and my lifestyle. My daughter is my youngest adjunct. She loves ministry. It's just the fact me finding people that can gravitate and that can help me, because at one time I didn't see myself doing a lot of things, but God sent me destiny helpers. Like I'm telling y'all, God will send y'all destiny helpers. Continue to be consistent in your prayer life. When I tell you, people was giving me a word and I was like, I don't know if I want to, I don't see that. But then it's having psychotic faith, understanding that God is going to do what he said he's going to do. It's bigger than what we think at times. So I think my goals in life, I said them to myself, but I never imagined 2 years later I'll be doing what I'm doing now. Like, I don't even know how I find the time for my own self, sis. To be honest with you, I have to find self-care time in between time to just have time for myself so I can release. It's a lot to carry. Ministry is not for the weak. I can truly say that. It's not for the weak. People think it's easy, and it's not. You really get tested, but it's all worth the purpose. That's what I would say. It's worth it.
Wow, wow, wow. So guys, you heard it here. Balance. Balance is it. And it's a work in progress. It's a work in
Amen.
progress. And so, like I said earlier, you have a powerful story that we want to hear. So many stories, to be quite honest. But I know God has given you one to share here with us tonight. And so let's start from the beginning. I want you
Mhm.
to tell us where it all started for Taniesha.
Oh wow. Whew, Jesus. Okay, so I would say this is where it all started from. Me understand who I am, me finding my identity after the brutal rape. I got raped when I was 13. Basically pistol whipped, left for dead. Um, I didn't understand why, because I knew the person, but I didn't understand why they did what they did to me. And it's just in school grounds at that, and it's like, why you pick me? Sometimes in life we think it's our fault. For years I carried that burden thinking that I did something wrong, and really I didn't do anything wrong, because you have people that don't understand the situation, what happened to you, because you at that time I wasn't really talking about it. I was acting out. Sometimes when people get raped, they tend to get in this stage of shutting down. Mental illness started kicking in. I had to be sent to a mental hospital at a young age. My mom was trying to find help every way she could to get me help, but what she thought was working really wasn't working. I really was getting tortured at the same time. So it's like, me being Taniesha, I had to find myself. I had to find who I really was. I was battling identity crisis. I was going through people being the people pleaser, because I felt like I had to dimmy down myself when I was younger to just get along with people around me and to accept me, because I had an embarrassment. And to me, back then, it was an embarrassment to myself. Who wants to tell somebody that you've been raped? Because automatically they already think that, okay, now, oh, you the biggest, I don't have to say the word, but y'all already know what I'm going to say. So, have to deal with that. I didn't wear girl clothes growing up at that age group time. I dressed like a tomboy. So, me adapting to who Taniesha was, accepting who I am. I think I lived with that storm in my life for a long time. I battled a lot of things. Stuff was being tested for me. I didn't want to live. I wanted really to kill myself. It's I went through a lot, like, but that's where it really started from the age of 13. It started from the age of 13, and I have so many other situations that God had helped me overcome. I am a true overcomer of my lifestyle. I think God let me go through storms so I'll be able to relate to people and help them come out of whatever they're going through. I used to say, I just want to die. Just take me. Just let me die. Taking pills, cutting my wrist, a whole bunch of other things, but finding God in the process of all my mess, God, I had a vision of God. God came to me in a dream. I didn't understand that I was gifted when I was young. I knew I was able to see certain things, but I didn't understand what I was seeing, because it's like, you better not dare say anything, because by me already labeled as mental illness, they might not believe what you're saying. Me just battling me, but God had to show me him inside of me. And when he showed me him inside of me, then I began to look at things different. Destiny helpers is a plus in my life. I understood destiny helpers at a young age. I thank God for the test. I can truly say that it was the test that brought me out who I am today.
Wow. Listen, I'm just here like, woo, that's just a lot. So let's go back a bit, just begin to unpack some things.
Mm-hmm.
And you shared there that, at the age of 13, you were raped. And this was someone that you said that you knew. And so you had to walk through that whole process now of, trying to find healing and, like you said, trying to understand why did it happen to you. And through that whole process, at what stage were you able to, be healed from the encounter that you had?
To be honest, it happened when I was 13. And to be honest, I really didn't heal to the age of 31. So I struggled for years of finding me, myself, accepting what happened. I became bitter. I became rude. I became a bully. I began to do things that's not the norm. I began to experience things that most people might not experience, or I began to put my place in situations and atmosphere that I should not have been, but it happened. But to God be the glory, I made it out. I don't supposed to be here.
Amen. 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 And so now you walked through that stage of your life, and you said it was a journey. It took some time. What are some of these things that you learned from that if there's anyone right now who may be watching and maybe they're dealing with that too, they haven't quite yet gotten to that place of healing, what will be your words of encouragement to them?
The encouragement is accepting what happened, but not blame yourself. There's somebody for everybody to help out. We have accountability partners, we have destiny helpers, and we have people that's definitely gonna pour back into us. I would say this, forgive first. That's the main thing. I had to forgive him. People say, unforgiveness. That's a big thing. That's a big pill to swallow. Asking God to help you with unforgiveness in your heart. Because remember, I was 13 and I don't think I forgave him until I was 31. Because in my mind, I wanted him dead. In my mind, I wanted to see him in the casket. In my mind, I wanted to spit in the casket on him. I wanted to see it. Like, I had to see it to believe it. Because, me struggling with seizures. A lot of people know, like they say, that's a demonic thing, spiritual thing. But let me tell you something. It's different type of seizures. I got pistol whipped. That's the reason why I suffer with seizures and headaches to today, because I really ain't supposed to be here. I was really supposed to be left for dead. I ain't supposed to be here, but God had his hand on me. And what I truly would say is never blame yourself for something that you had no control of. I think a lot of times in life, people tend to, we can tend to blame ourselves because we don't understand, or we want people to accept certain things about us, but we don't want to share certain things that we've been through. I think most people be ashamed of their past, of their pain and their hurt, but my pain birthed my purpose. My pain helped me to understand that I wasn't by myself. I wasn't alone. And as I was in the mental hospital at a young age, God put people around me that been through what I've been through, that had maybe different stories, but we stood together like sisters. We ate together, we read the Bible together, we just protect each other in there, because it was a lot of things we was dealing with too in the mental hospital that most people won't talk about. And I think when I let my life story book come out, it'll help a lot of people, sis, to be honest. I really think people really need to hear all my powerful testimonies to understand that it's only temporary, y'all. Y'all, a lot of people say, well, where was God in all of this? Why God let that happen to me? Sometimes we got to be tested to understand that we got to be birthed for our purpose. A lot of times, if it was just given to us freely, then everybody will make it. If God did not stretch us, my God, today, if he did not stretch us, we wouldn't understand the burden that we went through and how hard and how much hell we had to go through to get out. But we'll learn how to appreciate God in the process even more, because we came out of this. Being an overcomer is the best thing that could ever happen to me in my life. I dated the wrong man over the years after that, because I didn't allow myself to love. I thought abuse was love, because that's what I was used to. I thought, oh, if he don't hit me, he don't love me. So, it's like being an overcomer of domestic violence. And then I tend to, get into drinking alcohol, but then came to a point that I drank alcohol all day long to try to wash away my pain. And then it began, I dib and dab. I was end up being in certain atmosphere, partying with my friends, popping pills, doing drugs, and it was not the thing. But I had so much pain and so much stuff I was carrying, so much weight, that I had to do all those things just to make myself happy. I wasn't happy with Taniesha at that time. But now I'm happy, but I wasn't happy. And I think most people really need to hear the honest, unraw truth, cut truth. Like, I did this, I've been through this, began to be in the atmosphere of me being a stripper back in the days. And now they look at me like, wow, you doing church things? You used to be in the club. Like, I remember you used to do this, used to sell drugs, used to be at this. And a lot of times people in ministry that been out here in the worldly life, they're not going to tell, oh, I did this, did that. They want to hide things. And I think that's the most fake thing to do, sis. Having the imposter syndrome is one thing, but lying to yourself to try to make yourself feel good you're only hurting yourself. You only self-sabotaging yourself. So just looking at self in the mirror and just understanding what you can overcome and how many people you can help that have not told their story. Your one little testimony, my God, today, your one testimony can help somebody with something way bigger than what you can imagine. I have so many different things that I've been through. I'm an overcomer of so many things. And it's like every time when I rise up to a different title in ministry, God takes somebody close to me. And I'm like, why, God, why I keep going through this? Why I have to grieve so hard? And he was like, why not? And then it became a part of me understanding that my pain had purpose. I had to be the example so people can understand that no matter what your situation is, no matter what your story is, you can come out of this. I don't care what people say about you. I don't care how they label you. You can come out of this. It's about having the integrity for yourself, being prideful of yourself, not pride, but being proud that you overcame something that most people don't talk about. Being prideful that God is in your life, and with God, if it wasn't for God, I won't be here. Being thankful that I could have been dead 9 times in my grave, but God. It's a but God moment. I think most people go through stuff and they want to sweep it up under the rug, and they don't want to talk about it because they don't want people to put them in labels. They don't want people to talk about it. But let me tell you something on today. People are going to talk about you no matter what you're doing, good or bad. They're going to talk. So why not give them something to talk about? Why not tell your story the right way before somebody else tell your story the wrong way? Why do you have to be afraid of what happened to you and be embarrassed when God said, I am the way, the truth, and the light? I make the last decision. It doesn't matter what they label you of, what they say about you. What matters is that you stand. You stand grounded. Because let me tell you something. God know how to deal with them type of folks. The people that play on the agenda and come and pretend that they're your friend and try to set you up. Because I even had that. I had a friend put Visine in my drink one time when we went out, and she really was trying to kill me. And I loved her as a sister, but I didn't understand why she was trying to kill me, because she envied me. Envy is a disease, y'all. Jealousy is a disease. Let me tell you something. When I got in the fivefold ministry, sis, it made me reflect on why God took me through certain situations in my life. It helped me to understand that the prophet that I was, that God was showing me that he needed me to be. It helped me to understand that my calling was necessary. That everything that I went through, it was necessary. I'm trying not to cry right now because I'm really crying of tears of joy. It's not really pain. I have joy in my heart because a lot of my friends did not make it. A lot of them is dead in their grave today, but God let me make it. He let me survive so many storms in my life that I cannot let my mouth be closed in this time. I got to speak. I got to share. It's so many things in my life that I can share that I've been through. It's so many things that God showed me that I had healing in my hands, that I was able to do healing deliverance and help people come out of mental illness. Do you hear me? I was tied to the bed. I was tortured. I was, molested inside of the hospital as well. It was an going thing, but most people won't talk about this because they are embarrassed. But I let my embarrass be the light of my life. And I let God use me for his glory. You had to let God use you for your glory. Do not be ashamed to share your story, to share your pain. Because let me tell you something. Your pain will birth your purpose. A lot of people that's in leadership, they say, oh, your pain can't birth your purpose. And a lot of times the ones that say that, because you still got pain in your heart. You still are battling some things that you have not forgiven people that they done to you. You still have the spirit of offense. You still have the spirit of rejection in your life. You still wearing emotions on your sleeve and you still not healed because you have not let it go. But God says today, let it go. Let go all the pain and the burden, that the weight that the enemy thought he was going to kill, steal, and destroy. When I thought I was going to die, I say, God, you let me live one more time. You just let me get through this thing one more time. I promise I'm going to serve you, but I'm going to serve you the right way. And I've been on track ever since. So I thank God that I didn't lose my mind, even though I lost it before when I was young. But I thank God when I overcame this time, I did not lose my mind. I thank God I don't wear my emotions on my sleeve because I had the right mentor, the right coach, the right spiritual mother in my life at that time to speak life back into my dry bones. Come on, somebody. Y'all got to understand that God going to put you in a place that's bigger than you think. God is going to use you for a powerful testimony. They're going to help people get healed and delivered. People are waiting to hear your story so they can come through, so they can come to the kingdom of God. You see, I didn't say ministry, but the kingdom of God, because the kingdom of God is bigger and greater than the four walls than we think it is. Too many times, everybody want to do competition with, oh, my ministry better than yours, my ministry better than this, or I got this going on, or I got this title. Put down the titles. I am a servant to the day I die. All I want to do is serve. I don't care about platforms. I done did all that already. All I care about is being in the background and helping somebody else get to where they need to get to. That's all that matters. And that's what should matter right now, or what we're dealing with. It's too many times we are losing our children. If you look on the news right now, how many kids, they just say 30 kids from sex trafficking. They were going to send them kids across the water. You don't know who child you're going to be able to help. We right here in Miami Gardens, I see it all the time on Facebook. Kids are missing every other day. And it's not just females. It's boys too. So wake up. Understand that your son is they're not safe either. It's not just your daughters, but your sons ain't safe either. We got to change the way we do things, y'all. We got to change the way how we see things in the atmosphere. We know we can fight spiritually, but why not us leaders getting in unity and praying the walls down? Because these swatter spirits not playing with these kids. They're taking our children. We need to walk and live by example. We done been through what them kids been through. Share your powerful testimony so you can help your own child get healed and delivered. A lot of times parents don't ask their kids, how was your day? What's wrong? Love on your children. A lot of times kids go through stuff and they hold a lot in. When we was in school, I'm 46. I don't know since how you is, but I'm 46. When I was in school, school was different for me. School was like, okay, you either get in where you fit in or you're going to get left behind. You either figure out what you're going to be in life or you're going to be left behind. It was either you get it together or the streets going to be at you. I was thugged out for the streets. I was a ticking time bomb. But now I'm thugged out for God. And people say, why you say that like that? Because when I was in the streets, I ain't care what came my way. I was going to get what I want and how I want it, and I was going to get it. So this, what I'm saying, I'm a thugged out for God because I ain't going to never put my cross down. I'm going to continue to fight whatever battle that God gives me to fight and go say who he need me to say because I'm a servant at all times. We got to learn how to serve and not look for things to be put back into. Like a lot of times we sow seeds. Yes, yes. And a lot of time people not going to give you back what you sowed out. You know, sometimes we could sow into the wrong ground. It's not fertile. But what happens when the ground is fertile? What happens when you're not looking for a reciprocal and the same thing you gave out, you're not looking for it back ASAP? Let's go. I'll take favor any day before money. And people say you're crazy. I'm not crazy. I'll take favor any day because the favor of God is unlimited. But money runs out. Can I just say that? The favor of God is unlimited. But money will run out. If you do not spend money the right way or know how to strategize your money and your spending habits, it'll be gone. But if we know how to strategize and invest our money into something to leave a legacy behind for our kids, let's start making safe places, safe havens for our teenagers. Hello, let's start making safe havens for the millennials. Let's go. Because millennials, they're crying out. It's some real powerful millennials out here. They got powerful testimonies that been through some things that we've been through. But let me tell you something, they're not ashamed to share their story. And they're not ashamed to worship God. Why is it that the 70 babies, the 80 babies, we hold back so much? Why is it that the 40 through the 60 babies, why? Because their parents told them, you better not tell nobody what happened in this household. Stop saying that. Get your family members some help. Start being the generational curse breaker. Start breaking some things in the atmosphere. Start going in. Because let me tell you why. Because a family that prays together stays together. That's true. I'm a living witness to that. One thing what I love about my kids, and I got 4 kids. One thing I love about my kids, if I go in and I'm starting praying, guess what? They coming in the atmosphere. They coming in the room with me. And they gonna get down with me. And my daughter, boy, she's something to be working with. Like sometimes I say, I wanted all boys, but I prayed for a daughter. And when I got her, I didn't know how to accept her. So let me tell you why. Because she remind me of my old self a little bit. But I thank God that she don't have the attitude that I had back then because I was a force to be reckoned with. I thank God that I am the prime example. I am the one that she look up to. I'm the one she's like, Mom, you motivate me. You know how good that feel for your daughter to know that you've been through hell and high water in your life? And to say right now, Mama, you motivate me to be the person that I am. You are a blessing in my life. Because it could have went left. I could have traumatized my kids with my burden. But I thank God I got healed. I thank God I got healed and delivered, but he sent the right people in my life. You got to ask God, what is the agenda? Why people want to connect with me? You have to ask God why they're coming. Because sometimes we got confettis, yes, coming in our life to destroy us. They want to come and see what you got going on, to see what you're working with, to fight against you and tear you down.
Yes,
a lot of times people are intimidated by the anointing that you carry. It's not that they don't like you, They don't like the anointing that's on you. They don't like who you are as who God has you, but not understanding that you're not a person that thinks it's all about you. You're not conceited. That you actually love for real, and you love them so hard that you're so loyal. But sometimes we can be loyal to the wrong people. Can I just say that? We can be loyal to the wrong people. And we have to understand that some people are for a season, but sometimes God brings them in your life for a reason forever. But I thank God for the ones that's in my life forever. I ask God to remove the bad apples in my life, the ones I thought was my sisters, the ones that I gave my all to. And now it's like God shift my whole life. He gave me sisters that love me for real. Unconditional, not blood sister, but sisters, kingdom sisters. That was able to help me get to where I'm at right now. And now look at me. Now I'm helping them. My God. Sometimes it shift, y'all. Then you can start out one way and God will make it turn another way. But let me tell you something. Don't never get big-headed in life. Always
Yeah.
respect the calling that God has on your life. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
it's going to take
Yeah.
you farther.
That's
Yeah.
powerful. That's powerful. Listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We are going to be right back. Welcome back. Listen to me. If you're now joining us for the first time, we have none other than Prophetess Taniesha. She's sharing her story. I want to give you an opportunity to go right ahead and share this link with a friend. Go ahead and share. Get somebody in the room because you just don't know who can be empowered or impacted by her story here tonight. And so, Prophetess, we're going back to what you shared because, I mean, you shared quite a lot there. It's
Yeah.
so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, some of the things that you shared, in terms of everything that you walked through and how you were able now to impact and to mold and to help your daughter to grow and to build. In looking back at everything that you have been through, is there anything you would have done differently?
No. No. It's so funny that
Mm-hmm.
you asked me that question because
Yeah.
I asked myself that question 2 weeks ago. And
Wow.
me and my friend, we was talking and she was like, if God was to bring you back, would you come back as yourself? And I looked at her and I smiled. I was like, yeah, because I have a powerful testimonies, not one, but testimonies. And I would never did nothing else different. I had to go through that. I had to. Because if I didn't, I won't be the person that God needed me to be today.
That's right. That's true. And so now, even in when you talked a little bit about even in those moments when you're dealing with those encounters, you felt like taking your life and stuff.
Yes.
Who did you have to depend on when you were walking through? Of course, I know God was there, but outside of God, who was there that was able to hold you up or to help you navigate these different things that are all happening? Like it's like you got out of this one and then you go into another one. Who was there to walk with you?
The inspiration in my life, I can truly say that was there for me in the times of, me dealing with having seizures. My mom, she was always there. She was always praying for me, true indeed. But the person that helped me in life to mold who I am today will be my teacher. She was my high school teacher, Miss Stephanie Gillis. And that was my godmother. She adopted me as her goddaughter. And I can truly say she helped me in ways that I thought I would not be able to overcome. She spoke life into me. She never gave up on me. My support system was real strong with her. Miss Gillis was everything to me. She was my other mother. And I have like other bonus moms now God put in my life. And I think what it was is accepting the fact when God did take her away. I had to learn how to live without her because I was so accustomed to having her in my life. My God, I just remember her telling me, never give up on life. And she told me one day I took a whole bunch of pills. I'm like, I just want to die. I don't want to even be here no more. Just let me die. And she was like, what? And it's the way she loved on me, sis. It's the way how she embraced me, how she spoke life into me. She was always in ministry. She was another ministry leader, pastor as well. And the way she got that Bible and she taught me things out the Bible. Like I was already, raised up in the church, but she took her time and dissect that word with me. She helped me to understand that it was not my fault. She helped me to understand what unforgiveness really looks like. She helped me to understand that I don't have to be what people call me. I don't have to accept the names that they call, but I can be bigger and powerful if I just let God lead the way. It was the love she gave. So she gave me unconditional love that I could not even imagine. Like, she never told me no. If I did something that wasn't right, she always corrected me out of love. So it's like, once God took her away, it was a time to go home to glory. I had to eat that. I had to accept that, even though I lost my way partial of that. But what I love about it the most, I had to fall, sis, so I could dust myself back off and get back up. Because if only she was alive to see me right now today, the way I'm doing ministry, my God, she'll be so proud of me. Because I always thought, I don't want to do that. Ministry ain't for me. That's for y'all. I'm good. Nah. And she was like, you're going to be a powerful pastor one day. I didn't see it back then. I didn't see it. But now it's like, she spoke that thing. She prophesied that thing to me, and it happened. We can run we can run all day and say what we don't want. But God, if God called you to do such a thing in the kingdom of God, trust me, you're going to do it. You can't run from it. So stop being afraid. Stop letting fear take over your faith. Have faith over fear. And I thank God for that, because if I didn't have a Mama Gillis in my life, I won't be the Taniesha that I needed to be. Without her, she helped. She definitely was my destiny helper in that time in my teenage life. She helped me to understand I had something to live for, even though it was so many things going wrong. I have so much to give back. She spoke life to me. She helped me. She lead the way. Even after her death, I would see her in dreams and visions, and God would let me have conversations with her. And it's like, I always seen this bright light. And she was like, as long as you just look at the light and let God lead you. But understand, I'm here, but I'm protecting behind him. I always felt her in my spirit. And I thank God for that, because if I didn't have a Mama Gillis, it probably wouldn't be a Taniesha to today.
Wow.
I was
That's beautiful.
Myself. I used to cut my thing. I was determined. And she stuck right there with my mama and prayed through. She might have fussed at me, but she did it out of love. She let me look at myself, a reaction of, listen, this is what could have happened if you would have did this. This is what you're gonna do though. Like, she was so strong-willed, sis. It's like, I don't know. I never seen the unconditional love that she gave me. And I think what it is in life, I continue to try to look for the same love. And God already gave it to me. I got to understand that I'm not going to get that same love again. Sometimes you will, but sometimes you won't. But that don't stop me from being who she molded me to be. I thank God for her, because I don't know where will I be. I probably would have been in prison. I'm being honest with you. If I wasn't in 6 feet deep, I probably would have been in prison. I'm being honest. I probably would, because I had an attitude problem for real. Like, I had anger issues bad. It took me to the age of 31 to really forgive myself, forgive the rapists, and forgive all the stuff I went through with past relationship, past men that hurt me. It was a lot of pain. But it's like, now it's like, whew, Jesus, I had to go through that thing. Like, you have to understand why you went through. A lot of people look at what people have done to you, and we want that get back. But that's that flesh talking. When you learn to sit that flesh down, I'd rather have all what God has for me before I have what the enemy trying to give me, because the enemy don't play fair. But see, God gonna bless us in the process. We don't understand why we be scratched, and the process might be hard and stuff, but the process gonna bless you in the long run. The long suffering, yes, God, that would say the long suffering give you overflow blessings. So my overflow blessings and favor is great. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You see, I love that in your story there's presence of God. At every turn, at every juncture, we see the hand of God, just navigating and just leading you through. One of the questions that I have to ask, as you shared that, you're a PK, a preacher's kid. And even with that, I'm just thinking about your mom, having learned what had occurred with you at such a young age. How did that work? Were there pastors at that time, or did they become pastors after? And if they were already pastors, how did this affect your ministry within the church itself as a PK? Did it have any effect? Did people know, and how did that work out for you?
Well, to be honest, it was my dad's side of the family that was all pastors that I learned from there how ministry flows. My granddaddy was amazing apostle. He was a prophet as well. But the walk to see him do stuff was amazing. But to be honest, me and my mom became pastors at the same time. And that was like, it was interesting for me. Sometimes, our past, we bumped heads a lot. We didn't get along as much. We love each other, but we fought a lot too as well. And I think what it is was my mom was dealing with the spirit of rejection as well, because the name of the person that raped me was the name she was going to give me when she thought I was a boy. She shared this with me. And I think my mom was hurt. She dealt with that pain for a long time. So what I think was hard back then is trying to, give me the love that I need. I think she had a lot of guilt with self, because she always brought it up like, oh my God, I would never have imagined that the name I was going to give you is the name of the person that raped you. So that was like a hard pill to swallow as well. A lot of times growing up as age of being an adult, it's a lot of past pain. And I think a lot of stories I hid from my mom as well, because I was abused by family members as well. And I didn't really share it with my mom until I got like older. So it's just accepting what is. I think I've been fighting for my mother's love all my life. And it's a difference now. Truly, I love my mother. I love her. But my peace is more better than me going through hell and high water, up and down roller coasters that people that's not healed. Let's be honest. I tell people all the time, they ask me questions. I'm never going to talk ill will against my mom. We might not be on talking terms right now, but everything happened for a reason. My job is to love her, regardless of the fact of whatever we going through. But my job is not to discredit my mom or talk bad about her. Sometimes we have to accept what it is. And I think where I'm at now, I accept what it is. But my peace is more than me being rebellious back or doing tit for tat with her. I'm not going to do that. I love my mother, and I'm saying it right here on the broadcast. And I know she's probably going to see it. I love her, but I can't tolerate with the foolery, because I came too far to go back. I don't graduate them 10 steps. I'm not going back 10, 15 steps back. If we can't get along, and I told her this out of my own mouth, and I'm sharing it with y'all because I'm just transparent like that. Mama Giddens was a big part in our both life, my mom's life and my life. And I told my mama after she died, she passed away, if we can't get along from this day right here, and Mama Giddens is gone, then I'm just fine with it. Because you know why? My peace is everything. And we was doing good for a long time. We just recently stopped talking since last year, to be honest. I'm going to be honest, because I'm just transparent. But what I'm not going to do is have a person lie on me. And it could be my own mama, but I'm still going to love her. But I have to love her from a distance, because I can't focus on the foolery or the petty mess. And I would not have nobody disrespect me and me as my character or my children. I'm not doing that. I just feel like everybody need to be healed in some area. It's some past hurt, rejection, and pain that my mama dealing with. And I had to accept that. I had to pray. I'm continue to pray for her. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean I don't love her. I'm just not going to deal with the foolery. I'm never going to take credit from her. I'm going to share one more powerful testimony before we go another question. I'm going to be honest.
Right.
I'm 2 times. Oh my God. Who Jesus? I just felt something says, oh God, I've been through breast cancer twice, y'all. And I will say this. I didn't tell my family that I was dealing with breast cancer. My mama was there the whole time. I will never take credit away from her. I'm not saying that my mom don't love me. What I'm saying is I don't think she know how to love me. I think sometimes, the spirit of jealousy come apart with her because she sees something in me that she desires for herself. I pray, that God heal heart, that he erased past pain in her heart. It's not easy because I love my mom. It's not easy, but everything happened for a reason, So I thank God she was there the both times, because I went through breast cancer, and then they was able to cut out the piece that was out my chest at one time. But then I went back into remission a couple years later after I had it the first time. So 2018 was the last year that they were saying, oh, you know, it came back and spread it. I kept it a secret again. I didn't tell my family, but my mama knew. My mom knew, my kids knew, you know, my husband knew, but I didn't tell nobody. So at the time, I was just feeling like this, that I'm going to fast, I'm going to pray, and I'm going to let God fight my battle. I'm not going to get in a place where I want people to feel sorry for me. You know, hair falling out, you know, really can't eat, you know, just a lot of things going on. I remember going to the doctor, and the doctor's like, I'm going to do another biopsy. Before I do a biopsy, I'm going to do another sonogram. You know, I'm just want to check you again. Let's do the sonogram again. I know what I told you 60 days ago, but let's do it again, you know, before you do the biopsy. And since I remember, oh, Jesus, I remember this man going in, doing the sonogram. And then I remember him coming back. He said, you got to be a woman of faith. You got to be a woman of God. Because I know what I told you 60 days ago, but it turned like water. Oh my God. I said, Rabba Shekerabo. So I started praising God right then and there, because let me tell you something. Nobody never, ever went to the doctor and the doctor tell you that it turned into water. So I knew it was God. So I began to do a live in the car, sis. And it's like, before I even got to the car, it was a Caucasian lady. And I was so happy, so excited. Girl, I started praise dancing. And the lady, I didn't know she knew how we praise dance. Because, you know, we African-American, we praise dance different. She started praise dancing with me. So I'm like, okay, you got to go to a urban church, because I ain't going to say a black church. I'm going to say an urban church, because you show hitting it harder than me. So we started laughing. We started praising God. But I began to do a video. And I remember sharing my testimony. I remember crying. I remember my mama saying, but there is a God. You know, that moment, that's the moment of my life that I could never even take back from my mama. The moment that I really felt genuine, that she really loved me at that time for real. I knew she loved me because she was more excited and praising, because she's like, my daughter told me she was going to come out of this. She told me. And, you know, the excitement for me, you know, just the love, sis, is like, sometimes we don't understand and we question God. But sometimes you have to go through hell to understand where you're going. I'm just going to say that. You have to go through hell. So the doctor was like, he couldn't believe it, and I couldn't believe it. And, you know, being a 2-time cancer survivor, that's something to, you know, that's something to be grateful. That's miracle signs and wonders. So people say, how you know there really is a God? Because I am the miracle. I am the miracle, because I know miracle signs and wonders was God. I am the miracle. That's how I know. So just continue to trust God, because I don't care what the doctor said. I know what God gonna say, and I know God has the last say so. So just being who God needs you to be means something more greater than anything what man want us to be. Sometimes people will say word curses, and sometimes we tend to let the word curses hurt our heart, you know, pierce our heart with evil and bitterness. I don't accept word curses from nobody. It is not about being arrogant. It's not about being disrespectful, but make people respect your name, your place in your life. When we are bold in the spirit, because those are for the ones that's really bold in the spirit, that can checkmate out of love, not being disrespectful. And I know I could be raw, uncut. A lot of people don't like me. I'm going to be honest. A lot of people don't like me because I'm too direct and too outspoken. I don't tolerate foolery. I'm not going to accept word curses. And I think it's because being in the fivefold ministry, the way that my spiritual mother, she taught me back then, is not to take nothing from nobody, but just speak out of love. You know, a lot of times people don't be loved the right way. They don't even know what love is. So when you're a person that love hard and you genuinely love people and you love on them, you gave them something they ain't never had before. Yeah, sometimes they tend to want to be attached to you. Sometimes they want to worship you as a God. I tell people, don't worship me as a God, because I don't want to walk with that Absalom spirit, because I don't think I'm a God, but I know I'm an angel from God, because God used me in a mighty way to help his people. So that being said, don't take no crap from nobody. Let God direct your path. Let God show you the way. People will become and destiny helpers to help you through your process, but let God lead the whole way. That's all I can say right there. I'm going to leave it right there, sis.
That's powerful. Listen to me. Listen, I told you tonight was going to be powerful. Make sure you're sharing this link. Make sure you're sharing this link with a friend, with a next door neighbor, a colleague, someone out there who needs to hear this testimony tonight. That's indeed powerful. Just before we continue, we're going to take another commercial break, and we're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. Just stay with us.
Are you a woman with a story to tell? A woman who has overcome, risen, and refuses to be silent? Then this is your moment. The Bold and Fearless Woman magazine, Special Edition 2026, is looking for powerful women to feature as our cover girls. Share your story with over 20 million readers worldwide, translated into 25 plus languages, and heard in over 120 countries. This opportunity includes a 20-minute interview and a QR code feature for your business, ministry, or service, plus a spotlight in our virtual Women's Summit and global visibility among a powerful community of women. Because unstoppable women deserve to be seen, heard, and celebrated. Sign up today and become a cover girl. Scan the QR code now. Bold, fearless, unstoppable.
So welcome back. Listen, I am telling you, this story is just powerful. It's just powerful to see how God has been able to use you and how God prepared you for ministry. So you're able now to connect with those individuals out there who have, been in all these different areas. Those who dealt with drugs, who dealt with abuse, who dealt with, issues, family issues and so on. And you're able to connect. It's like God has just designed it, so strategic that you are able to help. And so as we're preparing to come close to the end, I have just a few more questions to ask. Because as you were walking out this process and you're learning to love, you're learning who you are, how did you get that opportunity to meet your husband? Or how did God prepare you for him? Talk to us about that.
Well, it's a two-part to the situation. That's another part dealing with my mom. I think my mom, the first situation was, traveling, doing ministry, was one thing, and me battling to find out who I am. I think I had to accept the fact that, going through a past relationship that was brutal, domestic violence, and understanding that I was more than what I could even imagine. I dated the wrong man for years. And I think when God put somebody in my life that can help me grow to a better person for me, that showed up in so many areas. I think what it is too is that, accepting the wrong things, but making it right. Accepting for people for who they are, they're understanding that everybody have flaws. What I will say is marriage is not easy, but marriage is definitely necessary. It's definitely a covenant, but at the end of the day, the covenant will always prove if you're strong enough to work things out. And if it's not able to work out, because some of us all had hiccups that we done been married before and we done been divorced and we got remarried, true indeed, or, a significant other, maybe we married the wrong person. Can I just say that? But even though you married the wrong person, the person helped you to understand who you were, it showed you what not to do in the next marriage or whatever. But what I truly would say is I prayed to God for a godly man. I pray to God for a godly man. And what I love about what God does, God will definitely show up. You have to be careful when you pray for things. You got to be ready for things. You have to make sure that whatever you ask him for, that you're ready for the outcome. Because sometimes it happens just like this. But are you ready? Are you prepared? Are you ready to be the woman of God that he needs in his life? Are you ready to be the prayer warrior? Prayer works, y'all. You have to make sure that you and your mate have an understanding and that you guys war together. You have to accept their past hurt, past pain, and help them get healed and delivered as well. It's a union. And I think what it is that I look at it as this. We all want to be married to that one person for years and years and years down the line. But what happens if you married and it doesn't work? Your first marriage don't work out. But what happens when God gives you somebody in the next marriage and everything works the way that God needs you to work? We don't walk into the new marriage from the old marriage with past hurt, past pain. A lot of us may have been engaged and not even been married, didn't make it that far, but we end up getting married later. You can't bring heavy, like old baggage into new things. So what I'm saying is this: when you decide to say yes to your marriage, make sure that God sent that man for real. Ask God, is this the man of God that you want me to be with? Fast for your husband, y'all, because it took a lot of fasting. It took a lot of fasting. Fast for your husband. I don't care if you ain't married. I'm telling you right now, fast for your future husband. And I'm telling you, God gonna give you exactly what you asked for. But at the same time, make sure you're ready. Make sure you're prepared for your new husband. Because once that real godly man come and that counterfeit is out the door, guess what? Y'all can do anything together. Y'all can do anything. When God put a man with a woman, and they all look for a Proverbs 31 women, but we also looking for a godly man. Can I just say that? But make sure that communication is a part of your relationship. Make sure that when he don't having a good day, he did something wrong, you're able to forgive him. Because you're not going to find the perfect husband. Can I just tell y'all that? But you can pray him into the perfect husband. You can mold him to be the perfect husband that you need him to be. Start doing ministry. Because ministry, be honest, our family, our marriage is our first ministry, y'all. Let that be the prime example of where you're trying to go. And when a man and a woman that pray together, stay together, and they bring that family, them kids into it, let me tell you something. It's a powerful thing to have some praying family members, kids, and a husband that prays for you consistently. I'm talking about go to war for you in the spirit. I'm blessed. I'm very highly blessed to have the life that I dreamed of having years ago. But God couldn't give it to me back then because I wouldn't know how to accept it. Somebody just missed that. We were past hurt, past pain. I wasn't healed myself back then. But look how God worked it out now. Y'all keep praying on the wall, keep fasting. I'm telling you, it's going to happen in due time. Just be patient and wait. I had to wait, sis. I had to go through a lot of counterfeits before I got to where I'm at today. That's all I'm going to say.
Powerful. Listen, I hope you guys are taking notes, because this is powerful. Listen, we're getting ready to head out. But just before we go, I have to ask this question. Yeah. Tell us what is up next for you, what is coming up next, what are you working on, and where can they find you?
Okay, so I got a lot of things I'm working on, sis. So you guys just stay tuned. I have my book coming out the end of this month. It is The Envy of a Mother. And no, I'm not bashing my mother, but it's certain situations that happen in my life that, in the process of me and her both getting healed, I'm trying to help somebody else overcome some things in life, that some things they might not have even talked about. Another thing is from kingdom, from the streets to the kingdom. That'll be my life story book. Everything I went through in life. Even apart from the gutter, to the strip club, now from the strip club to the pulpit, being a pastor. I'm excited about that because what God has taken me, and I've been waiting for 3 years to finish this book. I prolonged it, but now it's happening. So I'm doing a double launch at one time, and I thank God, because I'm like, okay, maybe the end of the month or maybe the beginning of April, but just stay tuned. It's coming sooner than y'all think, because I got 3 more chapters to write for one of them, but I'm definitely gonna launch it soon. I got going on, really, to be honest. I wish I came on the live, but I made it secretly. I'm doing a retreat called the Kingdom Retreat, and it's all about helping people get healed and delivered that dealt with grievance, that went through pain, and they went through pain in their life, dealing with trauma situations. But I am doing another one in September, so you guys stay tuned. Follow me on my Facebook page. Follow me on my Instagram. She is the Global Giant. Follow me. Matter of fact, sign up for my mentorship. I have leadership one-on-one on Tuesdays. I have mentorship on Wednesdays, and they're both done at 10 o'clock at night. I give people time to, wind down so we can embrace our ears, have an open ear to hear what God is saying. And it's not just me on the mentorship or the leadership. I'm teaming with a lot of leaders that's powerful in the spirit. And I share my platform with everybody. I don't think, even though I'm the leading pastor or whatever, or one of the pastors for the fellowship, I don't think it's all about me. I believe in all us birthing and learning together. So sharing is caring, you guys. Make sure you connect to some powerhouses that can help you birth. If you're in ministry and you need to learn the terminology for demonic spirits, you want to learn how to increase, want to be the best intercessor that you can be, die to your flesh. I'm talking about learning how to spiritual fast for real. I ain't talking about playing, I fast this day, but I ate this. No. I'm talking about really learning how to do the real spiritual fast. Dying to our flesh for real. Holding accountable. If you want to learn how to do hidden deliverance the right way, make sure you get with somebody that can equip you, because everybody want to lay hands, but everybody don't really know how to do hidden deliverance. Can I just say that? And there's no shade throwing, just being honest. Get you with somebody that know what they're doing in ministry. Learn to take correction in a good way and not always in a bad way. It's not the people in it's not the church that hurt you. Can I just say that? It's the people in the church that hurt you that are not healed. That's portraying like, oh, they got it all together. But let me just tell you this. Everybody that be in the church is not healed. Can I just say that? I think a lot of times too many people know how to pretend and play God. You know, people go for the moment, for the experience, you know, not the right experience. They want to feel good, or just, it's all about, I don't know, these days in certain urban churches, and I'm just speaking because I came from Baptist church, so I'm not throwing shit on Baptist. What I'm saying is sometimes us Baptist folks, we do too much. We do too much. We need God. We need a God experience. You know, we need a moment with him for real. We don't need to play church. That's why so many churches getting flipped now. You see the ones that's up here high, and the top, that was the top dogs, now the top dogs being down, and now the ones that's at normal, we are rising. The ones that was in the back, we in the forefront, and we're going hard because we're doing kingdom for real, for real. Learn to give it somebody that's going to show you kingdom, not just ministry. And that's being religious, that's being traditional. I think too many times we was too traditional back then, because I was wearing the big hats too. I'm guilty. I'm raising my hand. You know, I thought I had to have this certain suit on, and it's not about that. Not saying that we can't look good. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we let it became a competition. I think when we take that out of the ministry, it'll be a better ministry, a better kingdom for everybody. A lot of times, a lot of leaders need to get to unify together and do what we do, go out there into the community and do ministry. A lot of people are wanting to come in the four walls, but they're intimidated, they're embarrassed because y'all tend to pick at them. They might not have the clothes that we have. You know, they might not have the long skirts. You know, they don't know about you got to wear stockings. They don't know about you got to dress a certain way. They don't know about you have to carry yourself. So this is what we come to do, ministry etiquette skills. Why don't us as a group of women that knows ministry, and we get together and we edify and show them how we supposed to be in ministry, how we supposed to look, how we supposed to dress, and not point the finger and pick at people. Because we all got a powerful testimony to share. We all embarrassed about something that happened in our life. They might trying to find a way out. And by you being negative, you don't crush their heart. Now they don't want to come back. So I'm street ministry and I'm pulpit at the same time. Why I say pulpit? Because I can preach you up under the table as well. I do the hoop. We can do the, you know what I'm saying, the extra stuff, you know, the screaming, the hoop, the hollering. We do all that. But what about doing kingdom for real? What about doing hidden deliverance to a whole nother level that we never experienced before? We might experience, but they not have experienced before. A lot of people don't even know what purging is, sis. They don't understand that you got to go through. You know, I think a lot of times we done candy paint ministry to what people expect it to be, all this singing and stuff. It's more than just that. What about the worship? I need to worship because I got to feel God. And if I begin to go into worship and we begin to, you know, they say 2 or 3 are gathered, God is in the midst. And we're together, it's just 2 of us. And we're being powerful, it's just 2 of us. Imagine if it'd be like 1,000 people in tune. Says, oh my God, can you imagine the glory of God in the atmosphere, even outside? Like I don't see so many major events that had God in the atmosphere outside and not being in the 4 walls. Do you hear me? And God showed up and he showed out and people got healed and delivered. I think too many times we do a lot of makeup. We cover up a lot of stuff. Show the true you. Let's not walk with the imposter syndrome. Let's show who God really who is in our life and show who we really are. Show people what you overcame. Share your story. Your story gonna heal people, man. I share my story every time I get. I'm not ashamed to share whatever I've been through. Maybe once I was embarrassed, but I'm not embarrassed anymore. I don't care how people feel about the old Taniesha. What I will say, you better get to know the new Taniesha. Because she might be the person that can help you get healed and delivered. And there's so many books out here. We need to start interviewing people sis off the street. We got to change how we doing stuff. We do a lot of podcasts and stuff, indeed, but think about just taking and being the host and going in the street with our little mics and just doing powerful testimony and tagging them on our YouTube page or our regular Facebook page. We got to do something different, y'all. Just do something different in your life. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Powerful. Listen to me. I told y'all it was going to be powerful today. Listen, Prophetess, I really want to say thank you. Thank you for being so real, so transparent, and so open, because these are things that people need to hear and not, you know, we keep it all hush and hiding it up and stuff. so that we understand where God has brought us from and where He's about to bring us to. So I just want to say thank you for sharing with us here tonight.
Thank you
Listen,
for having me.
you are welcome. You are so welcome. Those of you who have tuned in tonight, I want to thank you guys for being here. All of you who have tuned in to support Prophetess Taniesha here tonight. Those of you who are familiar to the show, you've always been here every Wednesday. You've heard it here tonight. She shared her story. Listen, we're going to be right back here next week, Wednesday, same time, but with another powerful woman who's going to share her story with us. I want to invite you to join us. Make sure you invite a friend and have someone in the room, you know, so that you too can be empowered and you can be encouraged as well. And so we're preparing ourselves to head out. And just before we go, stay with us. We have one more thing to share with you, and then we're going to get ready to head out of here. So stay with us as we prepare to do so. So you just watched our just a recap of what we had last year before, sorry, because that's 2024. For our Ladies Buffet brunch. This year we're having the QueensMindset weekend happening right in Barbados, and you all are invited to join us. It'll be a wonderful time. Just, I can't wait to see what God is about to do. And so this is an open invitation to those of you who will feel like to be there, to be in the room. So many things are going to be happening. We're going to be having our awards happening. We're going to be having, our Ladies Buffet brunch where we have our panelists. We're going to have our featured speakers. It's going to be amazing. I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing. And more information is coming soon where you can get your tickets and how you can get there and how everything is going to be set up. But for now, we just wanted to just give you a taste, a teaser of what you can expect to happen in the room. Once again, Prophetess Taniesha, thank you so much for joining us. And to those of you who have tuned in tonight, thank you for being here. We'll see you right back here next week, same time. Have an amazing night. See you soon.
You've seen me battered, bruised, but never broken. Through the fire, hope still spoken. There's a strength inside me that keeps me strong. So I'll keep pushing, I'll keep holding on. Through it all, I won't fall. I've got power, standing tall. Battered bruised, but not broken. I'm unshaken, still unshaken.